So Full Sky, I did like a little bit of research for these two teams. It looks like I think the most heavily contested hero between both of them is going to be Kel'Thas, I want to say. Not a whole lot of info to go on for Beast Coast, but we'll see how these bands go. Alright, let's see if I can figure this out. There we go, Kel'Thas gets banned. Alright, and Kel'Thuzad banned for Rush B. That's interesting. Definitely probably one of his better maps. Gets to pretty easily fight over the objective for long periods of time. Get some easy stacks. However, he's not super early game focused, so long as ban for Beast Coast. Game sounds a bit louder than you. Okay. That can be fixed. Maybe that's a little better, Greg. And a Maya ban. Interesting. Alright, so Anna picked up. I'm actually really surprised that she made it through the draft, as well as like some other pretty meta heroes. There's a lot of tanks that are still available right now. Obviously Anna, Malfurion, Tyrande. As far as healers go, and then we see Lucio and Jaina for Rush B. Interesting. Malthael gets picked up for Beast Coast. I do kind of like the Malthael here. I think nano boosts with Malthael is always very strong in the ETC to maybe have that mosh pit set up. Also seems very strong. Still a lot of very meta tanks available. Diablo, Johanna, and Uberak. Still on the table for Rush B. I wonder what the ban will be here. I imagine it might be a mage for that mosh pit follow-up, and they ban the Tychus. Interesting. Is the game sound still too loud? This draft needs a noob. Yeah, honestly. A Nubrak getting banned, though. I think Rush B will probably move into the Diablo or the Johanna. There honestly aren't a whole lot of options left. They could still play the Garrosh with the Lucio and Jaina. The speed up from the Lucio and the burst damage follow-up for Jaina could still be very good, especially into Malthael, who, you know, doesn't exactly want to get isolated from the rest of his team. But they do pick up Falstad and Phoenix, leaving their tank for last. And then Beast Coast will pick up Greymane for their damage dealer. wonder who this last pick will be. Probably interesting, Mephisto. So it looks like they're probably going to put Malthael in the off lane. Honestly, a pretty strong kind of AoE damage centered composition for Beast Coast. I do somewhat worry that the Malthael wants the team fights to go long, but they do have the Greymane Bullet and Last Rites combo, so hopefully they should be able to do okay once they hit 10, but I worry that until 10 the ETC might not be enough sustain through all the damage that's on the other side of Rush B. There's a lot of poke between Falstad, Jaina, Phoenix. But Rush B grabs the Johanna to round out the draft. Pretty quiet. Listening on my phone. Okay, cool, thanks. And the Johanna pick seems pretty good. There's blinds for Greymane and Malthael. Decent interrupt for the Mosh Pit if that's the way that Beast Coast decides to go. But we will see. Nano Mephisto. Yeah, there's a couple nano targets. Nano Mephisto is definitely really good. Nano Malthael is obviously strong. But I think a lot of the team fights will come down to the Mosh Pit or potentially the Bullet and Last Rites combination. Maybe the game needs to be even quieter. We'll see during the game. Okay, thanks, Greg. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why that's the case, but I guess we'll figure it out. All right. So just looking at the early games for these two teams, I think that that it definitely is going to go to the side of Rush B. I think with the Jaina and the Phoenix and the Falstad, it's just like a lot more damage potential. That being said, the Lucio doesn't really come online until later in the game, so it might not be enough. Let me turn the volume down a little bit. Alright. Alrighty, Phoenix is going to go into the top lane, probably going to be contested by the entire team from Beast Coast. And he's going to get picked. Maybe a little bit of an aggressive play from him to soak that wave up top. Meanwhile, Malthael and Falstad in the bottom lane, and it's weird they're sending their solo laners to the bottom. This is actually the second time I've seen this happen in NGS. I think traditionally a lot of teams send their solo laners to the top so that they can focus these turret camps in the early game, but right now it seems like neither team is really focused on doing those turret camps. Greymane actually goes to start his for Beast Coast. Malthael doing a little bit of work, trying to get kept up by Ana. He should be okay. Ana should be able to keep him up pretty easily. And it looks like Rush B has decided to do their camp as well. It looks like maybe Beast Coast is trying to snuff it out. I don't think there's much they can do about it, but they are going to come in. It looks like they do have 5 for this. Greymane goes in on Lucio, isn't going to find the kill, but they do manage to grab the camp. Johanna's in a little bit of trouble. She has no indestructible, and she will go down. And that was a really good invade from Beast Coast. They had all of the... they had all 5 of their members. They knew Phoenix was still top, and because they did that camp, their turret camp a little bit earlier, they were able to invade Rush B's turret. And now 2 turrets for East Coast, and it's looking pretty grim for Rush B. This is a map where the first objective can honestly snowball the game very, very quickly, and 2 turrets against 1 is not what you want to be looking at. Not to mention the fact that there's a level lead for East Coast as well. Also doing his best to get that XP a little bit more even, but it doesn't look like either team will have level 7 by the time this objective comes up. Rush B, knowing that they need to get this point before Beast Coast hits 7, they're going to get on it early, get as much charge as they can. Probably once level 7 comes for Beast Coast, they'll back off and try and look for 7 themselves. Meanwhile, Beast Coast has taken the siege camp up top. And at some point, Rush B will have to respond to that. Level 7 still not here for either team. Beast Coast taking their time, making sure that they're getting a good push top lane so that they can force Rush B to respond. And Jaina will rotate up, and with level 7 here, Beast Coast is going to look to get on the point. Falstad doing his best to get level 7 on the bottom lane. Malthael doing a good job of maybe slowing his rotation down a little bit. This is going to be a pretty big duel. Falstad will live, he'll get out, but he's going to have to back. And it's going to just be a longer time that Beast Coast is able to hold this point. Beast Coast doing a really good job being patient with their items. They know that they have a distinct advantage right now, but level 7 is here for Rush B, and they're looking to invade. 1 turret goes down. Greymane is super low. He does get picked. The 2nd turret goes down right before he dies, but it looks like Rush B doesn't care. They're actually taking a lot of damage from the turrets on the backline, and Malthael goes in trying to do some work. Everyone is so low, but Malthael falls. And that is 2 heroes down for Beast Coast as Rush B takes the point back in overtime. Now they're doing his best to get some work, but ooh, the boop is just a little bit too late. And Mephisto falls anyway. Everyone's still very low for the side of Rush B, but I don't think it's gonna matter. Greymane is actually back. He's trying to make something happen for Lucio onto Lucio, but it's not gonna be enough. Greymane maybe getting a little bit too aggressive, but ETC comes in with the slide. He pushes Jaina to safety. Beast Coast back on the point. The death timers were so short that even though they lost that first team fight, they were able to get back on the point, and they do secure the first protector. Granted, Rush B did a pretty good job to even out the XP lead, getting those couple kills, and they even managed to grab the 2 items from Beast Coast as well. So the protector is gonna push the top lane. Obviously, the more important of the lanes right now, considering it's where the next objective will be spawning. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of support for that protector, and they're not even going to get the well, it looks like. But they should go back in and grab it pretty easily. And the well will fall. And it looks like they're maybe trying to push the fort as well. There's a lot of damage on that protector still. Rush B is getting pretty low as well. Lucio's sustain is maybe just not enough to keep up his team. They managed to hold on to the fort, but it is so low that Rush B could come back in, or Beast Coast could come back and grab that pretty much whenever they want to. Meanwhile, this duel on the bottom lane is still happening, and the Malthael ult actually does grab Falstad, that level 10 having just been picked up. Actually manages to grab a triple kill. And it's interesting, we actually don't see the last rites. It's Tormented Souls for Malthael. And that Mephisto ult doing a ton of work in that small window that they had before Rush B was able to get level 10. Pretty standard ultimates across the board outside of the Tormented Souls. There is the mosh pit for ETC, so definitely something we want to look for. And it looks like East Coast is trying to invade this camp. The Phoenix ult gets interrupted, and that's a big Ring of Frost. A ton of damage. ETC's going to mosh pit. Maybe it's a good mosh, but he's so low that there's no way that it can lead to anything. Meanwhile, the Phoenix ult now back up. Should be able to get the other kill. Yeah, Lucio has his trait. He should very easily, and I'm sure they'll go grab that turret once they have the time. And that was an ace for Rush B. Maybe getting a little bit too greedy on the side of Beast Coast. They chose to invade the turret camp. Honestly, they didn't have the Mephisto ult. I wonder why they decided to make that decision. And Rush B maybe have got a little bit aggressive here, overextends and loses 3 heroes for it. The Go for the Throat doing a ton of work, and Greymane's still on the back line. With this fort gone, he's probably going to be able to get this pick on Falstad. The Mephisto ult comes out. It will not be enough. Greymane is going to look for a pick, but he won't find it. Ana doing a good job to make sure he isn't dying. Meanwhile, level 13 is here for for Beast Coast, excuse me. Looks like Beast Coast just gonna start on their siege camp. Oops, sorry, I forgot to hide that webcam after the draft. Both teams have level 13 now. And again, just a lot of aggression. And the Ring of Frost into the salvo is gonna do a ton of work. Pretty much eliminating Greymane. Mephisto will fall as well. And again, it's the team fight from Beast Coast seems to be a little bit all over the place. They have the Mephisto and the Mouthail that kind of want to take those slower fights, just get their damage in over a long period of time. And then the Greymane, on the other hand, with the Go for the Throat, is just he wants to go in. He wants to, you know, E in, pop his W, get as much damage in. But unfortunately, there's just maybe not quite enough support, especially with the ETC with that smaller health pool. But all the heroics are here for Beast Coast. They have regrouped, and they are trying to retake this point here. I don't think there are any items. Falstad actually flies in with a gust. ETC is going to come back. It's a pretty okay mosh pit. It will lead to a lot of damage. Phoenix will go down. And man, this game is just a bloodbath. Already 10 kills to 11. Johanna is definitely going to fall. Jaina will soon follow. Falstad is the only one that makes it out. And just both teams just not giving anybody any room to breathe. At some point or another, people are going to die in this game. Siege camp invaded for Beast Coast. They're going to move on to the heal camp. And I do think that with the help of this heal camp, it should be able to secure them the objective. They do not have any heroics, and there's still a sound barrier and a salvo on the side of Rush B, but level 16 is not there for them. Mephisto actually going into a little bit of the heroic CDR for his build, so he wants to have that that ultimate up as frequently as possible. Turn camp being taken for Rush B. I think they realize that this objective is lost. They're just going to do their best to try and grab level 16. Protectors here, I imagine it will try and push down the top keep. But it seems like maybe they're looking for a pick on Falstad. And Beast Coast is going to make their way up to the top keep as well with the Protector. Honestly, maybe a little bit of a sloppy rotation here. The Protector is here with nobody to back it up. Gets very little damage on the front wall. But now the rest of the team is here, but at the cost of maybe almost half of the hit points for the Protector. There's a really big Mephisto ult. It actually does force Rush B to back off a little bit, but doesn't secure any kills. Meanwhile, the Protector basically dead. All the ults are still here for pretty much both teams outside of that Mephisto one, and the Protector's going to back off. They aren't able to secure that keep, and I can't help but feel like that was mostly because of the somewhat sloppy rotation. Obviously, Falstad still had the Gust, and there was a little bit of room for disengage. But the Protector, man, just lost so much health before the teamfight even started. And the good Gust 2 people into towers. Malthael lead tower shots during the whole thing. A good mosh pit will actually secure the kill on Falstad, and the Honor Grenade should be enough to keep him up. Meanwhile, Lucio falls on the back line, and the heal camp is going to keep everyone up as well. Jaina with a decent ice block. She should be able to make it out okay, but Beast Coast making a real good play to secure this mid fort. Good team fight from them. And it looks like they're maybe going to rotate up to try and grab this top keep as well. The whole team is here. Phoenix actually might be a little far out. The Sleep Dart misses, though. But they are going to try and push into this keep. Nope, it looks like they're going to back off. They don't quite have the minion wave. Everybody is about to respawn on the side of Rush B. They're going to say, okay, let's rotate back to our turret. Look for level 20 so that we can fight over this bottom objective. And I think they're going to rotate up to this heal camp as well. Both teams are looking for the heal camp, and it looks like we're probably going to have another fight. ETC posturing. He has no mosh pit. The sound barrier is there, but the Malthael is able to pop the Tormented Souls and get a good amount of damage on the backline. The Phoenix ult goes out. There was no bonus damage, and that is going to be a huge amount of damage from the Mephisto with the nano boost. And everybody is going to go down. Heal camp picked up for Beast Coast again. They're just, in the beginning of the game, it was a lot of trades, but these last couple team fights have all gone in the favor of Beast Coast. Gonna rotate down, grab another turret for them. Give them a 2-item lead, it looks like. And looks like they're gonna push down this bottom fort if they can. Maybe secure the front wall and the well. Honestly, they might even have the damage to take down the entire fort. 2 are still top lane for Rush B, and it looks like that's definitely what they're going to do. Despite the poor siege damage from Malthael, he's going to hack away at that fort. And they're even going to move towards the keep front wall. Grayman maybe just wanting to keep his W up. But they do manage to grab that top turret, and then they're going to back away intelligently. They do have 20 right now, but I think they want to save their heroics for the objective. They also have the 2 turrets. Just going to do their best to sort of keep Rush B from being able to walk outside their keep. That being said, nobody is channeling, or nobody is charging the Protector right now. Falstad is just freely getting experience on the top lane for his team, able to fly down at a moment's notice. And Beast Coast gonna rotate back down onto the point. Malthael gets his E on Johanna, but it... Ooh, and the Blessed Shield goes out there to stop the Malthael from approaching. I'm not sure if that was worth it. It didn't look like Malthael necessarily had the follow-up to continue his damage onto Johanna. Seems like just kind of a wasted heroic from Johanna, but Blessed Shield is a relatively short cooldown. It looks like they're gonna rotate top. Oh, they're just going to push in the mid fort. This is interesting. I don't think I necessarily agree with this. I think this Protector this late in the game with your bottom keep front wall down. But meanwhile, as I say that, some really good ultimates coming out from Phoenix. And a really, really good mosh pit. Raven's gonna go to town on the back line. Mephisto ult will manage to grab 3-4 people. And that is probably GG's. Man, Beast Coast's team fighting towards the later half of this game was very good. They played very patiently. The ETC mosh pits were there, and the Mephisto damage with the nano boost was just so hard for Rush B to deal with. I can't help but feel like the gusts weren't quite used in an efficient manner. I do think that Blessed Shield being down was also probably pretty rough for them. But, you know, when you're playing Falstad with a Gust into an ECC with a Mosh Pit, you know, it seems like such an easy cooldown to hold on to interrupt that Mosh. But yeah, that is going to be game 1. Going over to Beast Coast, Screaming might fall, but there's a full health protector on its way that should be more than enough damage to finish off that core. ETC is going to fall, but it doesn't matter. The core is about to fall. And that is Sky Foundry going over to East Coast.